Hey everyone, it's time for my Tuesday talk again. So welcome. Today is going to be a little scattered. I'm going to start out with, I sound horrible because I have a cold. And as you know, being sick sucks. But I think it's kind of an unavoidable part of being a human. So I'm actually doing much better than I was last week. See, Friday morning I was at the doctor, and Saturday I had to run one very short errand, and other than those two things, I have not left my house since Thursday night, and it's now Tuesday. But I do need to venture out eventually. So, I am fascinated by things that are medical or medically related. So things like nutrition and health and fitness. And I'm just going to give some general thoughts today, and I'll try to get more specific examples in the future. So, it's really fascinating to me because there's so much research and yet so much we have no idea. Just none. Or like one thing contradicts another thing. And that just leaves the consumer like, oh, I don't know what to do. Like, what am I supposed to eat? How often should I exercise? What kind of exercise should I do? How often? How long? What should I do for XYZ medical condition? And no, I am not a dietitian or a doctor. I'm just somebody I've taught fitness for over a decade, and along with fitness, you end up reading and learning a lot about nutrition, and I used to work at a weight loss clinic, so I spent a lot of time when I was there reading about nutrition, and it's just so strange because one thing will tell you this, another thing will tell you this, something that you've thought for decades suddenly gets just like blown out of the water, and you're like, wait, what? Some examples of that are sodium intake, right? You probably know, right? You know that you should reduce your sodium intake and that it's bad for you to have a lot of sodium. Is that really true? There have been some more recent studies that have shown it really doesn't make a difference for most people unless you are hypersensitive to sodium. I have a medical condition where I've been told to eat as much freaking salt as possible and then more. Because I have very low blood pressure, it makes me black out sometimes. And so I'm supposed to eat a ton of salt to increase my blood pressure, which doesn't really work. It doesn't. My blood pressure doesn't really go up. But anyway, so like that's one example. And if you want to know more about that, let me know and I will get you the specific studies and stuff and do another video. Another example, kind of cheesy, like when I was a kid, they're like, don't eat too many eggs. It's going to raise your cholesterol, you're going to have a heart attack and die. And then there was the entire Incredible Edible Egg campaign. And they're like, no, it's totally okay to eat an egg every day. What is it? It's probably fine. I don't know. I haven't really researched because I don't care that much. Like, I'm going to eat an egg when I eat an egg. I don't make an effort to eat them every day. And when I do eat them, like scrambled eggs, I have like 2 eggs and that's it. And I probably won't have eggs again for a few more days. Not too concerned about it, honestly. Other examples. So the sodium, the eggs. Oh, well, I mean like the whole campaign, ultra low fat, right? When I was younger, ultra low fat everything, but then companies just put more sugar into processed foods to make them taste good and more salt into processed foods to make them taste good, because if you take out the fat, it doesn't taste as good, right? See, they put something else in to make it taste just as good. And so there's a lot of debate about sugar, fat, salt. Generally, I've seen that sugar, right, like a ton of sugar is not great for you. See, A little cough still left. So yeah, or sweeteners. That's another great example. Sweeteners. So they'll be like, some sources will tell you all sweeteners are bad, or they'll tell you it doesn't matter which sweetener you use, it's still going to spike your blood pressure. So just don't use a lot of sweeteners, sugar, honey, maple syrup, etc. But I know there's at least one study that shows like maple syrup is definitely a better option than processed sugar because it has other components in it besides just the sugar. So it's adding a tiny bit of like mineral content, which you need. Not that you need maple syrup, but the minerals that it can provide. Hopefully that doesn't show up in the video. Somebody just, yeah, got a little notification along the side. I'm sure you heard the ding. Other great examples. Oh, I don't have any more off the top of my head. Oh, exercise. So I said fitness, nutrition, medical stuff, exercise. So today on Facebook, in a yoga teacher group I'm part of, somebody had posted a little article. It was like 7 yoga exercises to do to treat sciatica. Okay, cool. Lots of people have sciatica at some point. I had sciatica when I was pregnant. Other than that, I've never really had it. It's just when I was pregnant. And people, the yoga teachers, have lost their minds. They're all like, these are horrible. Nobody should ever do these exercises when they have sciatica. And so I went on a binge. I spent a couple hours looking up sciatica treatments or stretches for sciatica. And I found multiple sources, doctors, physical therapists, and honestly, most of the exercises that were on that list were found in those articles from doctors and physical therapists and whatever. So I'm not really sure why these yoga people are like, no, that is absolutely the worst for sciatica. Don't do it. And I'm like, this doctor says I should do that exercise for sciatica. And really, one of the doctors was like, hey, people's bodies are variable, okay? Which I guess is really the underlying point of this whole thing. People's bodies are variable, and how they react to different exercises or foods or whatever, it varies. So sometimes you just need to try it. So like, do this stretch. Does it make my sciatica worse? Does it make it better? Or does it have no effect? And judge for yourself. So I guess my takeaway from this video, that is much longer than I thought it would be, is humans are variable. What works for one person doesn't always work for another person. Some people are more sensitive, whatever, they have different genetic makeup. So variable. Do what works for you. There's some generals, like try to eat more like unprocessed foods than processed foods. Move. I'm not going to judge which form of exercise you choose at this point, but you should probably move around once in a while. So drink water, eat unprocessed food, move. Okay, that's going to be it from me. All right, so if there's any specific kind of thing you want to know more about in any of those categories, I'd be happy to research for you. So let me know in the comments below, okay? Bye.